What's good, people? It's your boy AJ Throwback. I am on my way to the studio. Today is Wednesday, January 31st, 2018. Y'all been riding with me on this journey since January of last year, and still going at it, still going strong with things for the album. The new song that I'm recording tonight is called Remorse. It's a song that's originally produced by my homie Gladiator, who's also my engineer as well, and of course one of my homies. It's a beat. The beat itself, at first it took me a while to kind of figure out what I was going to do with it, but then I just kind of sort of sat with the feeling of the beat, and it just kind of gave me like contemplative, almost like a lonely kind of feeling. And so I decided to write a song to it called Loner's Remorse. And what the song is essentially about is, for most of my life I've been an introvert, and sometimes I battle with that feeling, because I feel like I always wanted to be more of an extrovert. I wanted to be more of a people person as a kid, but a lot of circumstances probably got in the way of that. I mean, sometimes I feel like you are who you are no matter what your influences are, but I feel like my influences guided me toward being an introvert more than I wanted them to be. And so there are good things to being an introvert, of course, like being able to pull from within, not necessarily needing people to draw from my energy. It's just a God-given thing. Like, you're able to just draw internally for your energy, for your inspiration, for a lot of different things. And but the downside of that is that I find myself spending a lot of time by myself, or wanting to be by myself. Like, I love people, don't get me wrong. I love being around people. I do get a significant amount of energy from being around other people, but it's a lot more draining for me than it is for somebody else who's, more of an extrovert, who they draw more of their energy from being around other people. And it doesn't necessarily wear down on them as much as it would wear down on somebody like me. And so a lot of times what I've found is that when I'm in my own world, I'm doing my own things, whether those things are, when I was a kid, I used to draw a lot, but a lot of times I would spend so much time in the house that people didn't even know that I existed, because I was always in the house drawing. So that when people saw my brother out, they thought, oh, you have a brother? Like, are you the only child? And come to find out, he wasn't the only child. And so when they would see me, like, oh snap, didn't even know he had a brother. And so that's part of the downside. I also think about so many events that I've missed, so many of my relatives that I just haven't connected with, friends that I haven't spent enough time with, kids I haven't met yet, cousins I just, I missed out on a good amount of their formative years because I was doing my own thing. And I mean, it's a lot of other things that contributed to that, but the main things that I talk about, I go over some of the things that may have caused me to be that way. And then I also talk about my escapes, like the things that I use to escape, whether it's been art, whether it's been music. I didn't really get to talk about other things such as being in relationships, or, just constantly having something to do. But, it's a very personal song, and as I've written it and as I've added my own parts to the beat that Gladiator originally did, it's come to be one of my favorite songs, of the songs that aren't automatically on the album. And I'm hoping that once I send this song to what I originally called my coffee club, but now I'm calling them Club Castaway, or calling what they belong to Club Castaway, based on the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, Pretty much it's the whole, just to talk about that real quick, it's the whole idea of being on an island and you're stuck with these songs. What songs can you live with, and what songs can you live without? And so I'm hoping that this particular song is one of those songs that they approve of, because I feel really passionate about this song. And I also feel like it's the song, one of the songs on the album that represent me the best and capture my essence, whether it's my personality. I mean, it just captures my personality so well in words and in music, because the music is very much me as well. Right now it's all about these practice runs. Going to practice 2 songs. First one's called Remorse, produced by my homie Gladiator and co-produced by me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into these practice runs real quick. If I had the choice of warm welcomes as the life of the party and the shadows as an introvert, I pray to God Chuck Nolan come strolling with a volleyball and toes, see the shortest strand and pick it first. Picture my whole class pressed to flood my mama's house for ice cream and cakes so they could chill and know I'm really dope. But aspirations as the Mitchell Gone sequel was a silly hope. I was so shy as a cub, though my curses from a billy goat. Acting out, couldn't comprehend my parents splitting up. Gave my mama a hard time for giving up. Had to ridicule her when her brother cried. Cool kids forced my hand like having 12 and praying a jack ain't on the other side. Honor roll, but in swagger 101, hella dumb. Kindness kills, whatever, bro, I had a pellet gun. Another torn Achilles of naivete. Got so used to riding pound and time, felt no need to play. Trying to develop in these dark rooms, but I made it hard for folks to picture me. So I had food in my mouth. I just let it roll to the verse, second verse. Went from Oxon Hill to Oxon Run, where kids were sitting ducks and Ward A streets were critical. So before I fell asleep at night, I was reinvented through pretending more intrepid and invincible. Didn't have a catch for canvases, so my imaginings were magnified through the massive stacks of printer paper. Give me a ruler, mail and tape of markers, had a young black MacGyver, all the makers of an innovator. Some I eat my dinner later, a constant hog washing up my options. 5 o'clock, not on the block, was nonchalant in my responses. And poor Mike, people often thought he was an only child, so it's either kissing concrete or be a lonely child. He admired me beyond what I could comprehend, but when I tried to infiltrate, I shoved him off again, haunting him as if he's all the causes of my awkwardness. All my withdrawals didn't add up to a lot of sense. I always mess up on that one line where I say, infiltrate, the infiltrate line. It's supposed to say, but when he tried to infiltrate, I shoved him off again. I always mess that line up. I'm determined to get it right in the studio. Yeah. Since I can talk, the thing I love best is dual legends in this weaponry. Find deserted islands through the message and the melodies. Meticulous, amazed with nuances. For days, happy feelings, found a maze to get lost and escape through the options. Trains blew the Walkman, syncing up my gear today, the same grooves locked in. But as the soundscape matured, so the people problem was got hard trusting folks when not exposed to evil. Either that or disappoint me. Use a tune to drown in claims of enjoying me. Bama's avoided me so long, I got defensive. Put a fence up like I'm Herculean. Mr. Slew of barbecues, birthdays, perfect evenings. All the hit me ups and keep in touch. Turn to families as we bust 100 months. Leave our clutches disgusted. The part what hurts the most, so profound. Best buddy told his mama, now that dude don't come around. Dang, maybe that's why I was voted boy who's out of tune. Had my head up in the cloud with like it's not balloons. Though I thrive from this energy within, God responded to my pleas. Swap my friend and meets with kin. So forgive me if my hugs might come across a giant basin. The undisputed truth will come alive with smiling faces. So what I must remember in my sessions for perfections, the wild less perfected when I sever my connections. Blessings. Yeah. Woo. Word.
with me. I done took myself some most comfortable resorts. Was homeless as a loner, now I'm living with remorse. Yeah, I was homeless as a loner, now I'm living with remorse.